right, Kaedon.
Yes.
Ready?
As ready as I will ever be.
As ready as you'll ever be?
I guess so.
Ask me a question about my life. And go.
How long was your beard at its longest length?
I have no idea if anyone can hear you because did you put the little microphone thingy on it? You did?
Yes.
Because you're talking really quiet. I mean, you don't have to talk really loud, but. So, what was your question?
How long was your beard at its longest length?
8 inches. What else? Ask me a good one.
Well, I could actually come up with something. I don't really have questions.
You have no questions? You know literally everything about me?
I just don't really feel like I need to know anything more about you.
Wow, you care that little?
It's quite the opposite, actually. Place a lot of trust in you.
Okay. So what's something about my life that you would want to know?
How much coding experience have you had?
How much coding experience have I had?
Yes.
I would consider it to be very little. When I went to Pensacola Christian College, way back in between 2001 and 2005, my major was secondary education with a primary focus in science. But my minor, so like the other classes that I took, were all related to computer science. So I actually did take a couple of classes that were coding related. One of them was to learn a programming language called Pascal, which even the guys that I was going to class with at that time said, Pascal is an ancient coding language. Nobody uses Pascal anymore. And of course, they were all in more advanced classes, and they were doing, they were learning COBOL, which is another very old programming language, which is actually used for programming mainframes, like the old mainframes with the big reel tapes, magnetic tapes that the programming code was on. So, yeah, so I mean, I took this Pascal class. I also took a kind of like a coding logic class, and that was helpful because even though I wasn't an expert coder or anything like that, just learning the logic behind it helped me become a better problem solver. And so now fast forward 20 years, coding is not, I wouldn't consider it to be a main part of my job. It's something I kind of add to my job because I enjoy it, but it's not really a requirement of what I do. So what I'm doing now is a lot of my work does require me to use Microsoft Excel. And so Excel gives you access to a platform called Visual Basic or Visual, I guess it's, I don't know what they call their code editor in the app, but it's basically a code editor for editing Visual Basic code. Anyway, that's what Microsoft uses to allow their users to create subroutines, or we call them macros, right? Which is basically a set of instructions that tells the software how to perform a set of activities. And it's very popular to do that in Excel because Excel it's a very structured environment, right? It's tables of data, and you can create tables with headers and rows with headers and arrays of data. So it's very organized. It can be very organized and structured. And so you can write macros to help you automate some of the tasks that you do on a regular basis. So I like to look for opportunities to do that. I'm actually working on one right now that I'm excited about because it's giving me an opportunity to learn some new things about Visual Basic and about coding in general, I guess, or coding within Visual Basic. It's pretty specific, right? there's a bunch of different programming languages, and they each have their own syntax and their own rules. So, I'm spending basically all of my time in Visual Basic. I've also dabbled a little bit with HTML, and I have just barely scratched the surface of doing HTML. Well, I said HTML, but also CSS. Wow, I hope this guy doesn't hit me. Jeez, that was kind of nerve-wracking. Sorry, guy whipped out next to me. Anyway, so a little bit of HTML, a little tiny bit of CSS. I would say basically no JavaScript whatsoever, but that would be kind of the next logical step. So, anything else you want to know about that, Kaedon?
Well, so me and you are working on learning some new coding for trying to do some very basic games together. If we can manage that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool to design and build a game.
Yeah. What are your ideas for a game that you're wanting to make once you've this coding?
Yeah, honestly, I haven't really given that any thought. I don't have a good answer to that right now. All right. Well, thanks for asking that question. Hopefully that was informative and gave you a little bit of insight into my experience as a human being on planet Earth. Thank you for asking. Thanks for participating.